Anybody renting tables and chairs? 1 out of every 10 injury claims are from a chair collapse with the ARA. Guest sat down on a chair at a large event, the chair broke. Says he tore his rotator cuff. That was about a $60,000 payout. And nobody knew about the claim until after the lawsuit came. Nobody knew about the injury. Chairs are rented for a meeting, sat down on the chair, front leg snapped. The rental store had recently painted all of the chairs prior to this event and did not notice the rusted leg. Who didn't notice it? The owner? The employee? Didn't say nothing. Are they supposed to? Is there an inspection sheet that said that they inspected these? Is it documented when they did it? ASTM guideline says it's supposed to be. Inspected every time or once a year? You leave the door open if you don't do it every time consistently. This is all going to cause injuries and cost you money. In the long run, cost you big bucks. Tiki bar, blown over by strong winds. They're supposed to be bolted together. They're just screwed in place. Side shortcuts. Tables, rented for an event, stacked up against a wall. Lady put her child up on top of the tables. Just for a second. But the settlement was 50% her fault, contributing to her own injury. The tables fell on the mom, injured the mom. Something as innocent as leaning tables against a wall. Don't think it would happen to you. Standing them straight up on end instead of sideways. On sideways, could it hurt somebody? Yeah. Take out Achilles heel. Something so simple. It's amazing how you are used to doing your job day after day, weekend after weekend, where you get complacent. You don't notice the little detail. And you'll have somebody else come in and they can identify. We had a family fun center. I had an inspection done by the insurance company that insured our location. They wrote me up for 26 safety violations. And I am anal, Nazi, safety, ugly, mean guy on safety. My employees hated me. Because I'd walk in and I'd see the cord sticking out. That cord's not taped all the way. You got a break between here and here. Come on, get it taped down. All right, there's no cover on that switch plate. They wrote me up for a cover on a switch plate. There was no cover. I walked by that thing 4 times that day. I never noticed it. The edge on the on one of the games was cracked. The plexiglass is cracked. So it had a sharp edge. So he leans up against it like that and goes, "Ow." He did it on purpose. Took a picture of it. Okay, I see how this is going. But all of these little things that you would think that you would notice, as an owner, we get complacent because we're used to seeing it every day. We're used to seeing the truck with the taillight not working. We're used to seeing the trailer with the light hanging off. Yeah, we're going to get to that later. We're busy this weekend. Rental store delivers some tables and chairs for an upcoming party. The customer moved some of the furniture out of the room, but they still had to move more stuff when the rental company came to set up for the party. Alleged the employees had scratched his bamboo floors and wanted the floors repaired or totally refinished. Were they scratched before or after? Can't prove it. You guys are screwed. Can't be a little bit pregnant, guys. So maybe you're getting pissed off. You want to fight somebody. Now it's getting serious. Going to stack them beers up one after another. Captain Coke will be in the corner. All right. So what caused your insurance to go up? The A word, attorneys. You can get sued for anything, and it's real easy to prove negligence against you guys because you don't do it correctly every day, 24/7. We get laxed. We decided we don't want to enforce the guidelines or the rules of the safety. You have one guy lifting instead of having 2 guys go out to lift an inflatable or a combo unit. They smile. You notice that there's any similarities here? See his teeth? That's so cool she did that. All right. Today's class is going to be your shark net. We're going to try to protect you from the attorneys getting bigger chunks out of your butt than they already have. As you can tell, I have no butt. I wear 2 wallets just to have something back there. I've had enough attorneys chew on my butt. I'm going to try to save you guys so that you don't end up that way. All right. So now you hate me. This guy always just doom and gloom. Well, let's find out why. All right. What drives the price of insurance? Very important you understand this, because until you understand the guys on the other side of the desk, you're not going to be able to apply it to your business practices. Claims. How many claims are there in the industry? Frequency of claims. How many times does it repeat in your business? Severity of claims. How much money do they pay out for these claims? Volume of the premium in the industry. Let's say there's 100 operators that rent equipment in the United States, and each one of you guys pay $5,000. That's $500,000 in premium. They have one claim, it's gone. So until you have a large volume of premium of several $million, they can't control the cost and stay in the industry long term. So you'll see new companies come, new companies go. You'll see some of the companies that were doing indoor don't want to do indoor anymore because of all the claims on indoor centers. Rental companies, if you have a good rental agreement, it's easier to defend you because they assume the liability. Did you train them correctly? Did they sign off every time saying that they were trained? They understand it? Documented every time? That's how we protect you. Availability markets, if they get too many claims, if the claims paid out is more than the premium, they're not going to be around. They're going to pack up and leave. So either as an industry, we control the losses through training, through classes, through information from the insurance guys back to you guys. The only way that we're going to keep the companies around long term. All right, top 5 causes of claims. Ha ha ha, lo and behold, lack of trained supervision. People aren't trained correctly. Did you train them right? Are your employees trained how to deal with people that are unruly on an inflatable slide? Too many people going up. Parents that say, I'm going up no matter what you say. Overloaded inflatables. See that all the time. Every time you drop one off, I'm sure you guys do not look in the rearview mirror. Because you know what happens as soon as you drive away. 36 kids jump inside and start doing flips. Not tethered properly. Do you use the right size stakes? All the time? Or is it too hard to pull them out? Sudden deflation and maintenance. Maintenance is a big issue, folks. We've seen a lot more claims because people will take and put duct tape on a unit to rent it instead of paying to have somebody sew it. It can be repaired fairly inexpensive. If you have a claim with duct tape on a unit, it won't be pretty. All right, is the bar open yet? You guys are going to look like this about 6:30. I wish I got a percentage of the bar tab tonight. That would be great. All right, rule number 1. What is it? Can't be a little bit pregnant. Either you have the right coverage, you do the right thing, or you don't have the right coverage and you have claims. Got to be consistent. All right, number 1 question I get. What's the cheapest insurance I can get? I can't tell you how many people tell me that a month. In the hundreds. Every month. You get what you pay for. If you buy a stripped down policy with a bare bones minimum, you're going to have the bare bones minimum type of coverage. And when you have a claim for some of the other stuff we'll discuss here, you're going to open yourself up to writing a check out of your own checking account because insurance policy won't cover it. They don't cover everything. They're not designed to cover everything. If it did, you guys couldn't afford the premiums. The premiums are really cheap right now. They still have been cheap for the last 5 years. What kind of coverage should I have? Glad you asked. We're going to talk about that. We'll have a list right here. All of these are what you should have as a business owner. The number 1 thing everybody says, all I want is the minimum. They're going to just want the general liability right there, saying that's all I need. And that's not all you should have. You should have business auto, commercial auto coverage. If you don't have that, you're in trouble. All personal auto policies exclude business use. Do you use your vehicle, your car to tow a trailer or a truck or a van and you throw an inflatable in it? It is business use. There is no coverage. Workers' comp. I don't have employees. They're subcontractors. Nobody raise their hand. They are employees. If you tell them what to do, when to show up, and how to do it, they're employees. Workers' comp will take care of them if they get hurt. Do they lift 300-pound inflatables? Yes. Is there going to be a back injury? Sooner or later. It's real easy to say, hey, it happened at work. Inland marine coverage covers your inventory while it's mobile in nature, not a property policy. Inland marine, got to make sure you have the right coverage. Some people just buy property policies, what covers it while it's in the warehouse. As soon as it leaves 100 feet from the warehouse, there's no more coverage. Professional liability. Do you do any party planning? Any party planners here? Anybody do party planning, event planning? Couple? Okay, good. Professional liability. General liability policy excludes professional. If you give advice on how to set up a party and put it together, you have no coverage unless you buy the professional. We'll get into that coverage later on too. Life insurance, disability, health, that's all standard stuff. EPLI, how many people have employees? Raise your hand. Okay. If you have an employee, EPLI coverage, employee practice liability insurance, is going to protect you in case they sue you for wrongful termination, touching them the wrong way, not giving them a promotion. So we're going to break these down real quick. First off, general liability. What the heck is it? It doesn't cover you for anything. It covers the other people for acts that you would do. It covers corporate name, officers, members if it's an LLC, employees and volunteers. Doesn't cover subcontractors. So don't say you have subcontractors. If you have a subcontractor that's going out and delivering and setting up your equipment, then you better get a general liability policy for that person, have them show proof of liability insurance for what they do. Because if you call them a subcontractor, you're in trouble, folks. Important note, remember, some policies exclude errors and omissions, the professional services. You may need excess coverage, you may need umbrella coverage. Some of the parks now require higher limits. If you're getting into hotels, some of them require 5 million limits. Do I really need this coverage? What's rule number 1?
I'm pregnant.
You're pregnant. You're rich. Now that would either cause you not to do something or do something. Either one. There's action here. All right. Abuse and molestation. If you touch somebody wrong. How many people man their units? You guys are the ones that had the biggest exposure. If you touch somebody wrong, or one of your employees touch somebody wrong, you can't defend against it. All they have to do is accuse you in the United States. Minimum cost to defend yourself, the retainer attorneys will start at is $30,000 out of your own pocket, because your policy doesn't cover it. It's an exclusion. So either you buy the coverage, or you get ready to write a big check. Because sooner or later it's going to happen to you. The attorneys have gotten smart, they know the entertainment industry is wide open, and they're hitting it hard. All you have to do is be accused. Do you deal with children? Do you have video cameras? Taking a picture of what's going on? If you're a rental company or mobile, you probably don't. Do you have training for sensitive issues, how to handle kids? Do you have a written procedures manual that tells them what to do that the employees have signed? Oh yeah, we trained them. I told them. If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist, folks. It doesn't exist. It's got to be in writing with a date. For every single employee, every single time. This guy up here brought it to the forefront. We've seen more claims since Sandusky was put on the carpet. And you can't defend against it. And it's as innocent as that guy grabbing her arm. That's an abuse in today's market. Training. Inappropriate touching. All has to be. And it's not just women, it's guys. Girls now going around grabbing guys' butts. Employees screwing around in the warehouse. Out there delivering. Accidentally touch somebody. Innocently can be transferred into it was intentional. Do I really need this coverage? If you're manning those units, you better have it. Rule number 1, what is it? Can't be a little bit pregnant. You either have it or you don't. Molestation is a claim that you cannot defend. All you have to do is be accused in the United States, folks. You can't defend it. All they have to do is say that it happened. And unless you have a video camera showing what happened while your employee was there, or you have no defense. It's an open checkbook for your attorney. It'll probably ruin your reputation personally and as a business, because you're going to be in every tabloid, every news channel in your town. It could financially bankrupt you. Defense costs start from 30 to 100 grand.